Hi, I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and it's time for another Daily Diddy. So, well, last minute switch up, the judge decided that the jury will be finalized on Monday morning. They will be sworn in just before opening statements, and then the trial will begin. Couple little last minute wranglings when it came to that. We ended up losing two jurors from the pool of 45. Now remember, there were 150 jurors that got shrunk down to a pool of 45, and from that 45 there's going to be 12 jurors plus 6 alternates. Well, two of the jurors backed out and basically ended up getting struck because of things that they said. So one juror, which was prospective juror number 295, was a lawyer that once interned in the Domestic Violence Bureau of the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, and so they called the judge and said, "I can't serve." Basically, that juror just had concerns about serving, and obviously with their background as being a domestic violence prosecutor, that was something a bit of a cause for alarm. So the judge and both sides, the defense and the prosecution, agreed to strike her, and so she's off. Now the other juror is prospective juror number 146. Well, it turned out that that juror failed to disclose that he was in the middle of a lawsuit against New York City. Judge was like, well, the fact that you didn't share that shows, quote, a lack of candor and honesty. So that person was out. So as a result of these jurors getting struck, the judge was like, I'm feeling weird that maybe other people may try to back out over the weekend. So let's wait till Monday. If anybody else backs out, at least we can deal with that. And then we'll move ahead with whoever we have left and then pick the 12 jurors and 6 alternates. So makes sense, but there's that. The other thing that came out of today is that now we have a little bit of an inkling of what the defense argument is going to be. So basically, the defense is going to go full victim blaming. They're going to say that Diddy had a domestic violence relationship with Cassie Ventura, but that there was violence on both sides. So that Cassie was violent towards him, and as a result of that, he thought the violence was normal and that there was no coercion. So meanwhile, the judge is looking him sideways like, really? Is this the hill you're gonna die on? Because the judge is like, even strong people can get coerced just like weak people. So what you're saying doesn't make any sense. But basically, that's what the defense is going to argue in opening statements. And that's how they're going to conduct their cross-examination to basically go after Cassie and be like, you were just as violent as he was. You weren't coerced. You went into this willingly. You weren't forced into these freak-offs, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see if the jury buys that. Yeah, I doubt the jury is going to buy that one. So now we also got an inkling as to the order of witnesses, so that we know that the prosecution is going to call 3 survivors next week, one of whom is a sex worker, and they kind of made that clear already. And then, of course, one of the survivors that will be called next week is Cassie Ventura. Apparently, she's pregnant. Congratulations to her. But as a result, the court is going to be giving her frequent breaks, basically every 90 minutes, because obviously you got to go to the bathroom, right? So that's what's all about to happen. So all of this is going to jump off Monday at 9 a.m., starting with getting the final jury panel, swearing them in, then starting with opening statements and the prosecution calling their first witnesses. So this is the exciting part we've all been waiting for. So I will keep you posted, and with all the details and juicy details that we're about to learn. So I will see you on Monday morning. Take care.